Home sales are down year to date. This is a good thing. You're wondering why I would be saying that. Anthony Lamacchia here, broker owner of Lamacchia Realty, and I am here to provide you with a Massachusetts and New Hampshire real estate market update mid-year report. Okay, we finally have all our data out. Everything is final. Our marketing and data team put together a phenomenal mid-year report that I am going to go over with you to show you what is going on. And what is going on is this, folks. We are going from an extreme frenzy of a real estate market over the last 2 years down to just a hot real estate market. That's what's happening. This is a deceleration. This is what home buyers have been hoping for, and home buyers should be embracing and being excited about. Now, some buyers aren't excited because interest rates are higher. Well, I have news for you buyers. You cannot have it both ways. The interest rates going up in such a fast and dramatic fashion is really what slowed down the market, okay? That, and I would say buyer frustration and many buyers bailing out early in the year saying, I'm done with this. I'm tired of multiple offer situations. I'm not going to keep putting up with this. And that's understandable, okay? Rates last week dipped back down to 5.22%. I do not expect it to last. I expect them to be right back up closer to 6 before we get to the end of the month here in August. And I expect them to go up even higher this fall. The Federal Reserve is in a very difficult spot where they have to make sure to stamp out inflation. And now there is a lot of inflation going on. None of us can deny that. So what does this mean for you as a home buyer, and what does it mean for you as a seller? I'm going to go through all of that, but I first want to take you through our mid-year housing report to show you what is going on. I'm going to start with Massachusetts, then I'm going to go to New Hampshire, then I'll talk specifically to buyers, specifically to sellers, so that you all can make informed decisions. Look right here, folks. January 1st through June 30th, as I said, mid-year report, home sales down 11%. About 40,000 homes sold in Massachusetts, down from 45 last year. Keep in mind, last year there were over 100,000 home sales in Massachusetts for the first time, when I say last year, 2021, for the first time since '05. So sales coming down 11% is getting back to the normal level. Prices up 11%. Average price for a home in Massachusetts is $609,000. That is the highest ever in history, up from $547 a year ago. Homes listed for sale, down 7.5%. That is a number that was substantially higher in the beginning of the year, and that's why we saw such an incredible frenzy in the beginning of the year with people literally fighting over homes. And we saw that in the winter months, and that's because many people held back on listing their homes because they didn't want to deal with worrying about where they were going to go. Since then, the market's changed. Now sellers cannot get quite as much money as they could have if they listed their home back in the winter. That's just the way it is. Buyers, you should be happy about that. And sellers, honestly, if you're buying and selling, it doesn't really matter to you because it's all relative on each side. Homes pending, down 13%. That tells me that we are headed for home sales slowing down a little bit more in the months to come, and then probably leveling off where the market's finding itself a new equilibrium. Right here, we have price reductions up a bit, and honestly, part of the reason is way too many sellers overpriced their homes in the beginning of this year. And even in the last few months, sellers are just getting crazy with how much they're listing their homes for. The red, so right here we have mass total homes sold by month. You can see it's been down every month year to date. Not a shock. It had to happen at some point. We had to go back to normal at some point. And you can see here, look at 2021. It was an outlier. Prices, sales were much higher. Okay, and now we're settling back down to earth and only being in a hot market. Prices up 11%. I talked about that. Look at this. Each month so far this year, prices are up. Average price is up. So imagine those folks that in 2020 believed all the crazy pundits on TV and in the news that said home prices would crash. How much they must wish they didn't listen to that. Homes listed for sale, as I said, it was down. Let me show you something else. This is an on-market snapshot. This is an important graph to show. The reason I want to show this is I want everyone to understand the difference between now and 2008, because there are many home buyers that are thinking this is going to be a 2008 scenario. Look at this. Total amount of homes on the market. 2008, we had almost 50,000, 07, 08. Now we're down here barely at 10,000. We get about 9,700 homes for sale. We are nowhere near the level necessary to have a real estate market crash. And buyers, I hope you hear that. My predictions for the rest of the year. Let me go full screen and talk to you about that for a minute, and then we're going to jump into New Hampshire. What I expect to happen the rest of this year is I think there's going to be a bit of a further deceleration. Now, over the next 4 weeks here in August, I think it'll remain very busy. It has been very busy over the last 3 weeks once we got past the July 4th holiday, okay? Once we got past that, activity picked up dramatically, and it's been very busy. I do not expect that to continue. I expect things to slow down a bit in fall. And again, when I say slow down, I'm not talking about a slow down. I'm not talking about a slow market. I'm saying slow down more from the frenzy. I hope everyone understands that and doesn't take what I say out of context. That's what I expect to happen. I also expect rates to go up more. This 5.22% that we saw last week, I don't see it sticking. We're going to be closer to 6 soon, and then we're going to go higher likely in the fall. Let's jump over to New Hampshire and provide everyone here with a New Hampshire real estate market update. Take a look at this, folks. New Hampshire just reached history in the month of June and May. Average home price in New Hampshire is now over $500,000 for the first time ever before. It's never happened. But sales are down 11%. Prices are up 17%. Think about that. Just what I explained with Massachusetts. Sales are decelerating, but since we had so little inventory in the winter, people were fighting over homes, and that's what drove prices up. I expect prices to stop going up at this rate. You're going to see them level off for a while. Many people have asked me, do I think they'll go down? I think it's possible that they may in 2023 slide back a bit, but I do not see any possibility of a 2008 scenario where prices go down dramatically. There's about 25 reasons that won't happen. So if you're looking to buy in New Hampshire, embrace the fact that rates are still in the 5s and buy yourself a home, because 5 years from now, no matter what happens in the next year or two during this adjustment, it will not matter. It will be worth more. Sales down 11%, as I said. Look at this. You can see each month in red, year to date, down from last year. What's interesting about New Hampshire is New Hampshire actually started really booming back in 19. And that's because many folks were looking to get more space, get up into New Hampshire, buy second homes, buy up in ski country. I know that I'm certainly poking around up there. And then when COVID hit, things got even busier. So prices are up 17% in the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year. Hope that makes sense to everyone. As I said in my predictions, I expect to see the market stay very busy, stay in a hot market, but be slower than what it was when it was a frenzy. So here's my recap to home buyers. If you are looking to buy a home, buy a home. Do not overthink. Do not be one of these people that thinks that prices are going to just collapse. They are not. I found a video this weekend from exactly 4 years ago, 2018. I was sitting at my desk in the next room, and I showed a whole bunch of articles in Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal and a bunch of places. And I read the titles, and they talked about how we were going to see the largest housing crisis, housing downfall, housing slowdown since 2008. That was in 18. I got on video and said, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're seeing a slowdown because of interest rates. We're seeing a slowdown because of seasonality. Same thing as right now, folks. A little bit stronger of a slowdown than we saw in 18 because of rates. But people are still out there buying. We're still seeing multiple offer situations all over the place. We're still seeing a lot of buyers, okay? But we are also seeing sellers who overprice and go too far and overplay their hand and end up with their home not selling, okay? So if you are a buyer, be reasonable. Yes, you have more room to negotiate. Yes, you can probably get a home inspection now, which is a smart thing to do, and we do recommend it. Yes, you can probably have contingencies in your contract again. Buyers, realize us realtors, we're happy about that too. Things got out of hand for us too, and we had to deal with it, but we're happy about that. So if you're looking to buy a home, my strong recommendation is do it in the next few months, because I expect I expect interest rates to go up more. They're going to need to raise interest rates more to get rid of this inflation, and that's not going to happen overnight. So if you're looking to buy a home, make sure you can easily afford the payment, make sure that's not a problem for you. So long as that's the case, buy a home. Home sellers, my recap for you is, do not lose sight of the fact that the market has changed. The average interest rate right now is 2 to 3 points higher than it was in the beginning of the year and last year and the year before, okay, in 2020. You cannot expect buyers to pay the same amount as they were paying with that going on. I recognize the fact that we are in summer, and a lot of the home sales that are happening right now are at high prices. That makes it very difficult for a realtor to get a home seller to understand that the market has changed, because a home seller naturally, understandably, looks at the average prices and says, what do you mean? That sold a month ago, that sold 3 weeks ago, that sold 5 weeks ago, those are all in my neighborhood. That's correct, Mr. Seller and Mrs. Seller. But those are sales that were negotiated back in the winter and early spring, when inventory was dramatically lower, especially up here, up north. Seasonality has a larger impact for us. And interest rates were much lower than they are now. Those two things have gone up. There's more homes for you to compete with, and there are less buyers. You cannot price your home like you could have in February. Sorry, but that's the case. Now, when I say that, don't take what I'm saying out of context. I'm not saying prices are falling. When you look at the whole year, the beginning of the year, prices were up so much that as we see things settle now in the summer and in the fall, and sales start closing for numbers that are lower than they would have 6 months ago, prices are likely still going to be up in 2022, okay? Is it possible they could slide back in 23? It's possible, and you're moving out of the area, or you're selling for good and renting, or moving into assisted living, or whatever it may be. It would be wise for you to put the home on the market now and price it at a good price. Don't overdo it, or you will regret it. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try, and then you'll think of me in this video. If you are working with a Lamacchia realtor, whether on the buy side or on the sell side, I want you to know that you are working with highly trained, highly knowledgeable realtors who have endless resources at their fingertips. Think of our link system for home buyers. We have access to properties that other realtors don't have access to, because we have such a large database of home sellers due to our television ads that we have been running for over a decade and a half now. That's how we have such a database of sellers. We have been able to match up so many of our buyers to sellers that haven't even listed yet. So whether you are buying or selling, you are in the best hands if you are working with a realtor at Lamacchia Realty. That concludes my mid-year 2022 real estate market update. You can also check out our South Florida real estate market update on our Fort Lauderdale Lamacchia Realty page. That's all, folks. Good luck. Happy home buying and happy home selling. Take care.